Hello everyone, how have you been? Welcome again to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, you are very much welcome. My name is Damilola Oyetola and I film about faith, medicine and lifestyle. In today's video, I'll be talking about why I went to medical school, why I decided to be a doctor, and before I proceed with this video, I want to say thank you for stopping by here. Thank you for watching my videos. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for subscribing. I'm very much grateful. Thank you and God bless you. All right, so without wasting too much time, I'll just go into this video. Okay, so the first thing is that nobody sent me to medical school. I mean, like I sent myself, like me, something like that. Like it's not like nobody paid my school fees, so that's not what I meant. But like it was my own choice, it was my own decision. I know people that went to medical school because their parents wanted them to be doctors. I mean, some parents, because their own dreams of going to medical school, becoming doctors, did not get fulfilled, and then they decide to impose it on their children. You pass it on to them, neglecting what your child wants to be, and you say, you know what, you want to become a doctor. For some, it's not just because their parents wanted to be doctors. Their parents just like the idea of becoming a me mama doctor or baba doctor or something like that, so they force their children to go to medical school. But I'm thankful because mine was not like that. It was my choice, it was my decision. All right, so from the earliest time I remember, from primary school, I always wanted to be a doctor. I mean, I did not have relatives, no sister or brother that was in that line. In fact, my parents are no medical doctors too, so I don't know where that idea came from, but I believe it was God that placed that desire of wanting to be a medical doctor inside of me. All right, so I remember in primary school I'll be playing doctor with my teddy bear. I'll give my teddy bear injections. I mean, it's not doctors that give injections, but I mean, from my childlike mind, I wanted to be a doctor. So my teddy bear would be my sick patient that I was going to take care of. So moving on, there was a time I was admitted when I was still maybe in primary school or early in secondary school. So I was admitted, I was very sick, and then I was on admission at the hospital ward, right? Then there was this baby that was in the same hospital room that I was. And then I remember that the doctor was scraping the baby's scalp. The baby was scraping the hair off. Now that I'm better informed, I know that the doctor could not find any veins in the hands or legs to use, and that was why they went for the scalp. But when I saw that, I was just furious. I'm like, why would you shave up the baby's hair because you want to give the baby IV fluid? So I was mad at the doctor, and I was like, you're very wicked, you're not a nice doctor. Why would you scrape the baby's hair off? Like, the baby is crying, you're causing more harm instead of treating, right? So the doctor did not mind me. So I told the doctor that, you know what, I'm going to be a doctor and I'm not going to be like you. Unfortunately, I have participated in such acts since when I was a doctor. Anyways, so I think that even fueled my passion the more for wanting to be a doctor. So I guess maybe my mom told me that doctors that take care of children are pediatricians. So I made up my mind that, you know what, I am going to be a pediatrician and I am not going to be like you. All right, so a little diversion. All right, so when I got back to Nigeria after medical school, the parents of that little baby, they actually came to our house, and by then I was already a doctor that I said I was going to be. Like, isn't that just wonderful? I'm grateful to God for that opportunity, for planting the seed inside of my heart, and for helping me to water it, to see it grow. Okay, I'm talking fast now, for provision along the line. Anyways, so let's go back to the point. Why did I stop? Okay, so my mom told me that doctors that take care of children are called pediatricians, and since then everybody I met always said, oh, I'm going to be a pediatrician, that's what I'm going to be. In fact, I can remember my yearbook in secondary school where you write all those things for graduation class, where you shall write your dreams, your parting words and all. So I wrote that I was going to be a pediatrician. So when people ask me, what do you want to be, I never said I want to be a doctor. I always knew that I wanted to be a pediatrician. That was my dream. And so I got to SS3. I wrote WAEC, NECO, and JAM. I had a very beautiful WAEC result. I mean, I didn't have straight A's, but my WAEC result was very good. I passed on one sitting, and my dad saw my good result, and he was like, "You don't have to be a doctor, you know, right? Nobody is forcing you. If that's not what you want to do, you don't have to do it. There are many other things that you could do with this result. You could be an engineer, you could be a food scientist, you could be an anatomist, any other thing you want to do, physiologist. It doesn't have to be medicine." But I was resolute. My mind was made up. I am going to be a doctor, and no force on earth is going to stop me. All right. So my dad said to me that, "Do you know that doctors will have to read forever, is lifelong, even after you leave medical school, you will still need to keep reading." And I was like, you know what, have I not been reading before? It's not reading that made me pass this exam. Oh my god, if only I knew. Anyways, so I said, you know what, nothing is going to stop me. I'm going to be a doctor. Okay, no problem, we are going to support you. And I'm really thankful to my parents for all the support I have received all these years in actualizing my dreams. I do not in any way take it for granted. All right, so I wrote jam. Unfortunately, I still remember the night before my jam exam in that our hostel with my friends Feromi, Zainab. We were reading for, and Fumi, we were reading for our jam. I wrote it in Iwo because I couldn't. I think I had one more WAEC paper the next day or something. I don't know. I sure wrote jam. I wrote PPT. I think that was the year they introduced the computer-based test for jam. So I wrote the exam at one school in Iwo, because my secondary school was in Iwo. I was a boarding student. Okay, so I went home for the holidays and my jam results came out. You guys, I was on wood. Jam me, like jam me so much. That was my first contact with failure, like, for lack of better words, contact. I don't know what other word to use, but that was the first time I failed in my life. And my god, it really broke me. I was devastated. So there's no need to hide anymore. I'm no longer ashamed of my jam score. I got 180. I mean, I'm already a doctor, right? There's nothing to be ashamed of. I got 180 the first time I wrote jam. I mean, me, Dami, I was always first to third in my class, and then I got 180 in jam. I just couldn't believe my eyes with the results. When my dad got home and told me my results, he wasn't too happy with me because my dad is an excellent man, very, very good academician. I don't know if my father has failed any exam before. That I don't know, but I know that my dad is a very smart man, and he wanted me to be that. I remember when I was in secondary school, my father would be the one telling me repetition strengthens memory. You have to read. If you don't read, you are not going to know anything. So you have to read. You have to be the best. Before I started being the top of my class, my father would tell me the person that is taking first does not have two heads. I'm sure your parents have told you that too. Anyways, so not to digress from our story. So my dad was very sad, and he was like, "You're going to take the jam again, obviously. How would I be a doctor with 180? No school was going to take me. Even the university my parents were working, 180 for medicine. It's impossible." All right, so at that point, my parents were like, okay, because the schools I chose in my jam, I can't remember the schools I chose, but they were state universities. So my parents now said, okay, because of the constant strikes and all, that maybe I should just go to a private university, and then we're thinking that maybe I should just leave Nigeria. So, excuse me. At that point, they compared the school fees of the medical school I later went, All Saints University School of Medicine, Dominica. They compared you with Bowen, Babcock, and I think Afe Babalola. And that year, actually, the exchange rate was fair enough. And so by the time he converted it, the school fees, like, there was really, the difference was not much. All right. So my parents were like, you know what? Let her just leave Nigeria. Let her go and study outside Nigeria. And that was it. Although I had to wait for, I think, for a year before I was able to go to the school in Dominica. So my parents enrolled me for pre-degree, and then my dad obtained another jam form. Like, he wanted me to do better. He pushed me hard, but this Dami was unserious. Because I was like, what's the point? You've already paid my school fees to another school, right? So why pay for jam again? My father was like, before I leave Nigeria, I must rewrite that jam. even if I am not going to use it. My dad is always like that, always pursuing excellence, always wants me to be better, to put my best foot forward. All right, so I registered for the jam, and luckily for me, I already left Nigeria on my jam date. I think it was 1 week after I left Nigeria. That was the date for my jam. So that was how I, rewrite the jam exam. Anyways, so that's my story of how I became a doctor, why I went to medical school. Nobody forced me. It was my own idea. It was my own dream. I'm grateful to God, the giver of dreams, the giver of ideas, for helping me to bring this into reality. And then one thing I learned is that don't impose your dreams on your children. I mean, my parents didn't do that, but I know people that their parents did that, and really, I don't think it's a good thing to do. Allow your children to be what they want to be. Don't impose your dreams on them. Don't force them to do what they don't want to do. I mean, so far it's not a bad thing, right? So far your child did not say, I want to be an armed robber, or I want to be an hired assassin, something like that. If your child says that, oh, I want to, I don't know, whatever they want to study, maybe you should just allow them. Don't don't I don't know what to use, but allow your children to be what they want to do instead of imposing your own dreams and your ambitions on them. All right. So this brings us to the end of this video. Thank you very much for watching till the end. Please don't forget to like my channel. Like these videos, very, very important. I'd like to see your comments in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and please share this video with your friends and family. And I would like to know in the comment section, what did you study in school? Were you forced to study your course, or it was what you wanted to do? I would really like to hear from you. Thank you. Until next time, stay safe and remain blessed.